Hi, welcome to this EstimatorXpress Getting Started video. In this video we will be going through the Apex Valley Roof workbook. Currently the Apex Valley Roof workbook isn't in my job summary list, so I can add that in either via Add Workbook or go into the tabs along the top, selecting Workbooks. This gives me my list of workbooks in a ribbon. I can go to the Roof drop-down, select Apex Valley Roof and open to Workbook Summary. Now the workbook is open, I have my worksheet summary. I can go to Add Worksheet. This will now give me a box to enter the name and location. These are defaulted to roof and the location is based on the description of the estimate. I can click OK. This will now give me a dimensional template. Using the drop down, I can base my roof on a wall that I have already estimated, in this case the brick and block cavity walls. I'm going to select the front wall. I also have the dimensional templates. I'm going to select tiled roof with fascias and barge boards, installation of plastering to ceiling, and click select. This now gives me my dimensions wizard, page 1 of 4. I can now go through the dimensions as required. I'm going to hit the tech tips and tech labels. Starting on the left hand side here, I have my soffit width. I then have my wall width at 0.3 as selected in the templates. I have my clear span of joists. Now as my extension is only 4 meters wide, including the 0.3 on each end, this only needs to be 3.4. I have a mirror of these dimensions over on the other side in case they are different, and then I can come down to the dimensions on the right hand side here. I have the slope and pitch of roof in degrees, and slope and pitch of parent roof in degrees as well. As I've got a 4 meter wide wall and a 2 meter high gable, this works out 45 degrees, so I'm going to leave these as they are. I will change the percentage of tile intersection to reuse to 75, as I will not be needing all the tiles in that section, but I want to hold some back for cuts for in the valleys. I can set the number of purlings, number of binders, and number of eave fascias. Moving across, on the bottom left hand corner I have a roof and strap details button that I can go into and review some of the finer details of the roof construction. This being if there's roof eave ventilators, tilting fillets and support, air gaps, and items such as the end bearing for joists, joist width, cutting allowance and rafter width. I can go back to my roof structural information 1 and then click next to go on to page 2. On page 2 I have my rafter widths and my joist widths. I also have the depth of the roof as it's protruding from the building. This is based upon the wall plate length, as it's missing 0.3 on one end and then it's going back 0.3 into the back of this wall here. I can give the 2.5 meters between these two dimensions. I've got the 0.3 for the wall width on the end, and then my 0.15 for my soffit overhang. Over on the right hand side I've got number of gable rafters each side, end 1. I can remove these if I'm going to be using something like a cloak tile, or if the brickwork goes up to the undercloak directly. And I have a number of barge boards as well, so I can remove them if they're no longer required. I have a number of rainwater pipes, so this being the downpipes, number of gutters, so there may not be one gutter on one side, length of rainwater pipes, so 6 meters to allow us the downpipe length, and number of gutter angles to allow us to return to an existing gutter on the main roof. We can adjust these to suit, as you may need more than one gutter angle, or you may need less downpipes as you may be using the existing on the roof. Coming down to the bottom left hand corner here we have our gutter details, and in here I can change the gutter clip fixing centers. I'm going to select 1 meter. I'm going to leave the downpipe fixing centers at 1.2 and my supplied length of gutter at 3 and supplied length of downpipe at 2.4. Returning to my roof structural information 2, which is our page 2 of the dimensions wizard, I can now click next. On page 3 of the dimensions wizard, I can, starting on the left hand side, go through number of gable abutments. This is if the roof is going up flat against a brick or block wall or rendered wall one end, and then length of abutment. This would then start calculating the leadwork and cutting required to match into that wall. Over on the right hand side edge, working down, I have spacing of the tile lath, or batting gauge as it were. It's currently at 0.1, which is good for a plain tile, as I've selected within my mini specification at the beginning a concrete interlocking tile. I'm going to select 0.3. I have, is the roof covered with a sarking board? Nope, but the option is there if you need it. You can also use that layer for tongue and groove board if you're doing closed boarded roof in that method as well. Coming down, we have insulation to rafters. As we're not doing a vaulted ceiling, we've said no to this. Insulation of overlap on the edge, and then coming down here, insulation to ceiling, yes, as we are doing a flat ceiling and that will be insulated. I can come down to the tiling details on the bottom left hand corner. Going into here, I can confirm if it's sand, cement or dry fix, and if there are verge tiles required in the valley. I'm happy with those at the moment, so I'm going to click Tiling Installation Details to return to page 3, and then I'm going to click Next to go to page 4. On page 4, I can select my roof finishes. This is if the underside of the rafters are plastered and decorated. Once again, we templated to a flat ceiling, so the vaulted are set as no, but the flat sections already have yeses to them. Coming over to the right here, we have Prime Decorate Soffits and Prime and Decorate the barge boards and fascias. These are set to no by default, as the defaults within the software are plastics, but if you do select a timber in your specification, you can say yes to these and either decorate them or apply a treatment. When I'm happy with the dimensions I've entered, I can click Finish. I'm now going to go up to my View Resources output, and in here I can review the materials that have been used. Go to my views, highlight selected line. As I come through here, I can see what softwoods have been used. I can have a much easier way of viewing this by going to the Resources wizard. Coming down here now, I can then click on the named items as they're pointed out for me. I'm going to go to my Apex Valley Roof Rafter. I can see here now, if I click on the resource, it's a sawn dry graded structural softwood treated 47 by 125. I could change this to a more substantial material, the 47 by 150mm. This will give me my edit resource box. Clicking the calculator there, it's costed it per meter, so it's 1 meter of dry graded structural softwood treated for 1 meter of Apex Valley Roof Rafter. This is okay, so I'm going to click OK there, and then OK again. Now it may be that as I'm using a thicker material, it's going to take slightly longer to cut. It's going to be a bit heavier to move around up to the roof there, so the time to fix is going to be a little bit longer. I can make changes to this by going to the drop down box at the bottom and selecting Labour, Plant, Subcontract and Sundry. I can then select Fix Valley Roof Rafters. I can see what gang is being used in there, but I'm going to go straight to the Edit, Build Phase and Usage Factor. So Resource Joiner and Mate, £33 per hour. Usage Units Meters. Click on the calculator. And it says it takes 1 hour to do 15.155, so just over 15 meters per hour of Apex Valley timber fixing. If you want to break this down into a smaller figure, I can go minutes, and I can say to do 4 meters. Or I can go 4 minutes to do 1 meter. 4 minutes looks very similar to what we had previously, maybe a slight increase, so I'm going to click OK. There we go, we've increased our rate by pennies per meter, but we can make these adjustments, so it's going to be a little bit slower. Click OK. Click Next. Have a review of everything else that's being fitted. I can see that my tile has been selected a concrete interlocking as per my specification. I don't need to change anything in here, so I can go through, click Finish, and then once I'm happy with all my changes, I can return to the job summary. I'm going to right click on this, say Workbook Complete, and we're now done. Thank you for watching this Apex Valley Roof video.